a persuader and an audience member. Log on to the website or Facebook page for one blah 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 blah. It may be a clothing company, a computer company, or the company for which you work, or it could be Donald Trump's website. It could be Hillary Clinton's website. How does the site use each of the three strategies of identification? Is a company effective in using the use of identification strategy? Why or why not? Ooh, that would be good for a blog. Or you could just tweet your answer. They is good. Or just, you know, the tweeting, you can tweet about anybody, anything. I'll go about that later, but yeah, you've probably already done this, but that would be a great blog. Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. Okay, the main thing here at the end of this, when again, we're all just defining persuasion here, and then they have the thinking critically, defining persuasion activity, which is your thread. That's the one I want you to thread about on page 21. But basically it says, and this is why it's important that we're, again, contextualizing persuasion in the media age. In the past, this has been true. Well, we usually think of persuaders as powerful individuals capable of generating wide interest. But yeah, the past this may have been true. Throughout this book, however, you will learn about influential individuals who lack traditional sources of power, blah, 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 blah. In this book, we take a broad view of the ways in which persuaders attempt to identify the audiences. So there's lots of audience persuasion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hopefully you get that. And some other things about persuasion and related terms, but one of the things, persuaders are not, that's one thing I'm going to say, it's not just about people, it's also organizations, and a lot of the stuff that folks study these days are about how companies try to persuade you to buy their stuff, right? And then they have persuasion and related terms, see next slide. Where is it? Identification needs a conscious choice. And so, in other words, and I talk about this in COM 100, I mean, persuasion does not equal all forms of influence. I can coerce you, but I'm not persuading you because maybe you're not thinking about things. I don't know. And it's also not threat. Terrorism is not persuasion. Putting a gun to somebody's head is not persuasion. And then, of course, so that's important. It isn't force. So we sort of make a choice, although sometimes that choice is unconscious. We always don't know we're making a choice, but we are making a choice. Maybe, I don't know. And also this idea of invisible technologies, and that is there's stuff all over the place, so sometimes we're not very mindful, so there is that sort of continuum between persuasion and then sort of just force or whatever. And so I like the idea that there's lots of gray areas surrounding the concepts of persuasion, coercion, and choice. Gray, I love gray, it's my favorite color. And then it also talks about how persuasion is a broader concept than argumentation, which is, you know, I'll let you read more about that. So, you know, so yeah, persuasion is broad, but it's different from other things. Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you. Yeah. So, and then thinking critically. I really want you, I mean, I've asked you to do that so you can sort of try to reflect and think about how our author defines communication. Okay, even more complicated stuff. That was sort of the regular definition of persuasion. And then persuasion in the media age, starting on the bottom of page 21. Yeah. Table 1.2 is very important, just like this other table is very, very important, and I will let you look at that. The figure, though, looks like it was created by a drunk monkey. Did you see that? Page 22, and go, oh, wow, I want to take a picture of this, blow it up, and make a poster. Put it next to my Cheryl T poster in my bedroom, or Farrah Fawcett, or whatever. Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Selena Gomez. She's playing here this weekend, here in Tulsa. I'm not going to go. So, it's complicated, but the big point is, drunk monkey is added again. Yeah, that's just like, oh. But in any case, here are some of the, if you can, I don't know, you can see this, but the characteristics of persuasion, I think, are very, very important. So it sort of goes through all these different things. Persuasion is audience-oriented. And I say here, so long as you are mindful. But we do have a choice. And I put this in politics. So that's here's where I'm trying to come up with some examples from the political situation. Quick trip, the big Q. Water. It's good for you. Oh, sorry, I'm rubbing my nose. I'm itchy. Basically, you know, lots of different things out there are attempting to persuade us to vote for whoever, right? So I can go to a website, I can go to official websites, I can go to unofficial websites, I can pick and choose what news site to look at. So I do have power, in a sense, as an audience. I do have a sense of control, particularly in the new media age, where or even TV, I can switch a channel. I can watch. I mean, this is why it's so sort of complicated, because a lot of folks on that are more conservative identify with folks on Fox News, and so tend to watch that, and that's where they get all their news and the way they think. Same thing with if you're more liberal, you sort of take a look at MSNBC, if anybody ever watches that, but some people tend to think the New York Times or whatever, or Washington Post, is a little bit more liberal. I don't know. They're all trying to sell you stuff. But in any sense, we can navigate, sort of choose. So persuasion is audience oriented, and so you know, we do have some power. Oh, but apparently not. See, that's the point. We don't always have power. We think we have power, but we really don't have power. There's something's always, the little paper clip is always going to get us. Oh, come on. We think we have choice, but is choice, do we really have choice? Ah, jeez. See, I don't want to see this. Like what you see, I don't really care. Just give me back to my damn PowerPoint. So, persuasion is audience oriented. I'll let you look more at that. Persuasion effects are overdetermined, which is a funky word. I have 2 new software updates. Awesome. Do I have control over that? Yes, I suppose. But eventually I'll have to do it, or this thing will explode. Basically, that's very confusing. But basically what they're saying here is that rarely does only one persuader attempt to persuade us. So there's lots of stuff out there, and so even as we have choice, so for instance, the politics, right? We watch the news, we go to websites, whatever, all in the process of trying to figure out who to vote for. But we also talk to our friends. We also see what shirts our friends are wearing. Sometimes, you know, is somebody wearing "Make America Great Again," you know, hat? Hey, that's my buddy. I like that hat. I want a hat like that, so I'm going to vote for Trump. So there's just this idea that there's images, it's all over the place, so it's difficult to explain, for instance, exactly why somebody was going to vote for Trump, or exactly why somebody's going to vote for Clinton, or exactly why somebody still would want to vote for Bernie Sanders. It's just sort of, there is no one sort of thing. So that's what that means by overdetermined. There's so many different things going on. And in fact, there's so much research out there that says that, you know, you tend to vote for how your friends vote, and the interpersonal bit is really, really important, no matter what people stand for. And again, people don't often do their research. They don't know what the issues. Much is left unsaid is a really important thing. I should just not say anything here. But the argument here is that we already know a lot of stuff, but sometimes we don't really know a lot of stuff. It talks about claims and reasoning, but for the most part, basically, you know what it says, particularly with commercials and stuff like that, they don't tell you all the stuff, and sometimes they let you fill in the gaps yourself. You know, I'll let you read more about that. But basically, they talk about Chrysler, but basically, you don't get the entire story. Politics, see a commercial, a 30-second spot or a 15-second spot. Do you get all the information about the other side or about the candidate? No way, Jose. So you actually have to go do your research if you really, really want to figure out and make a good critical choice about who to vote for. Persuasion is ubiquitous but invisible. Ubiquitous means it's all over the place. Researchers indicate that we see about 600 to 625 advertisements a day. That's not just for soda. That's for everything. Everything. And so remember that even though it's all over, well, we're like fish in water. We are there. We don't know that we're in the water because we're there. That's what we are. So we're surrounded by billboard. We're surrounded by little things popping up on Facebook. We're surrounded by all this stuff trying to get us to do stuff. But sometimes we're unaware that they're trying to get us to do stuff. And so, what they oftentimes do is not just try to get us to buy a certain product, but try to get us to see the world in a very particular way. So we identify with that way of seeing the world. Talks about efficiency and visual culture and the idea of a preferred customer card so they can track what you buy. But like if you like something on Facebook, if you like Trump or if you like Clinton, they know you like them. They start sending you stuff. They get all sorts of different things. So they track you. It's all over the place, and you don't know it. And therefore do we have control? Maybe. I don't know. The aliens are going to come soon. We're living in the Matrix. I'm Canoe Reeves. Has he made a good film lately? I don't think so. Oh God, this thing bugging the crap out of me. No, I don't like what I see. I want to see my PowerPoint. And then the last one, persuasive variables are reflexive. So in a sense, basically what we're thinking about is what's real and true. Sometimes we don't know. And so folks tell us what is real and true, and we think about what their credibility is. This news program might tell us what's good and true. This news program might tell us what is good and true. The way Trump views the United States gives us a certain perspective of what's good and true, or the world. The way Clinton sees it, and how credible do we see them? Some people, it's just so we're competing with different views of the world, and we tend to identify with certain views or certain other views. But no, it's crazy. So, in a sense, oh, by the way, this is really, they're always selling stuff, right? So you can get your Trump doll from, what does that say? From The Apprentice. Try me. I don't want to try you, Trump. I'm sorry. Something on the back. I can't read that, sorry. And you get a doll, a ready for action figure, Clinton doll. I'm gonna get this stuff. Ooh. I like those dolls. A doll wants to buy a doll. God, mind blown. Okay, so basically going back to persuasion in the media age, audience, we have some sort of control. We can navigate all over the place, but we're constantly being bombarded with all these different things. So it's not like just one thing that's going to persuade us. So sometimes we cannot really explain why we were persuaded in the first place. And then we're oftentimes persuaded by just little sound bites. Not all the information is there, and sometimes we have to fill in the information ourselves. It's all over the place, but sometimes we were unaware that we were being persuaded, and then at the end of the day, we decide who's credible, who's not, who to identify with, because of how they sort of see the world. What is good and true? Dolls are good and true. Okay. Objectives for persuaders. So if you are a persuader, what do you want to do in the media age? What does Trump want to do? What does Clinton want to do? What does Barbie want to do? What does Taylor Swift want to do? What does Justin Bieber want to do? He wants to look in the mirror because he likes the way he looks so much. He's going to go love himself, remember. In any case, so table 1-3 is very, very important. And there's some really, really good information here. This is rock solid stuff. And so I really